Good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Make sure you get your ass over to jerichogreen.net and get that $3.99 monthly sub. And make sure that you protect your retirement with a gold IRA. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com. Noble Gold is who I trust. And this video is sponsored by Noble Gold. Now, taperings, a word being used a lot right now, isn't it? It's a Fed code word for taking money from your pocket. But the Fed owes over $30 trillion. Stop your money being taken by creating a precious metal IRA or 401k with Noble Gold. They're giving away a free 5-ounce solid silver America the Beautiful bullion coin with each qualifying plan that you start this month as a thank you. Call 877-646-5347 or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Now, under normal circumstances, you would say, you may have heard, but you may not have heard about this because the colors do not line up. If the colors don't match, you know that thing where kids are toddlers and you teach them put the star in the star shape and put the square in the square shape and the circle in the circle shape? Well, same kind of thing here. If these circles or these shapes don't line up with the hole that you're putting them in, then it doesn't work. So if the races are not right, the races of the perpetrator and the victim, then you ain't going to hear shit. They're going to be, the mainstream mediocres will be more quiet than a dead church mouse. This is no different. This is the perfect example. So in Arlington, Texas, the other day, there was a school shooting. And now I know, guys, I know you're old enough to remember where anytime there was a gun fired within 100 miles of a school, they called it a school shooting. You'll even see now where they say last I heard there was like 150, 200 school shootings this year. 150 to 200 school shootings this year in America. Shut the fuck up. No way, not even close. America is not ultra violent when it comes to school shootings. Now, of course, you have to take into account how many people we have here. But if you take out these Democrat-run third world shitholes, Baltimore, Chicago, St. Louis, that kind of shit, we aren't even in the top 10 for mass shootings in America. Not even close. Now, what is a mass shooting? Last I heard, a mass shooting is where 4 or more people are shot and or killed at one time. So since there were 4 people shot and injured, thankfully none were killed, we are going to go ahead and call this a mass shooting because 4 or more people were shot. So this is a mass shooting. Now, if you listen to the dumbass family's attorney, Kim Cole, she says that this isn't, and I quote, "This is not your standard issue school shooting." Okay. Was it a shooting? Was it at a school? Then damn it, it's a school shooting. Now, sometimes they'll take into account the reason their numbers are all skewed because let's say some guy goes to his old high school and blows his brains out in the parking lot. They'll count that as a school shooting. Now, when you hear those words, you think school kids are in session. Some student came and shot a bunch of them. But like I just said, that's not always the case. That's why one of the reasons these numbers are so inflated. But it is a school shooting. It was a shooting. It happened at a school, dummy. And unfortunately and shamefully, they are justifying the shooting because the kid was bullied. That's the magic word. Everything is bullying. I'm so sick of the word bullying. Everything is bullying. You bump into a kid and don't apologize. You're a bully. Stop that shit. Maybe the kid was bullied. There's footage of him taking an ass whooping right before he started shooting up the classroom. Was he bullied? Let's say yes, he was. Picked on, shoved, beaten, whatever. It happens to us all. We've all been bullied and we've all been bullies. So, like I said, footage of him getting beat up And he got whooped. All he did was curl up in a ball and take a bunch of shots. And then, I don't know, the video cuts out before, but apparently he reaches into his bag and pulls out a 45. A 45. Those of you who know stuff about guns, you know how big and heavy a 45 round is. If you carry a 45, you did not come to fuck around. 45s are big business. If you have a 9mm bullet and you put a 45 bullet next to it, it looks like the 45 bullet shit out the 9mm. It is a big, heavy round. It moves slow, and it has a whole lot of force, and especially at close range. And I'm surprised that nobody was killed because it was inside of a classroom. If you went from one corner to another, the farthest distance you could, that 45 will still fuck you up. So thankfully, that kid was a shitty shot, and he didn't hit anybody in any vital organs and kill them. One kid was in critical condition. I guess the teacher got hit. He had a collapsed lung and some broken ribs. See, that's the kind of force that comes with it. If that was a 9, it probably just would have went right through him. But 45s come with a lot of kinetic energy and a lot of force. Fortunately, nobody was killed. So I'm guessing that is the only reason why this kid was let out on bail. Yes. You can be a kid that goes into a classroom, or you're in class, you pull a 45 out of your backpack, you shoot 4 people, and they let you out the next day. Why is that, you ask? Well, why do you think? Just like I started with in the beginning. The colors didn't align, so that's why you didn't hear about it. But the colors aligned for this boy to get out of jail the next day because he's lower on the color chart. He is a black student. That's why you didn't hear about this shit. If he was a white student who shot up a bunch of... Man, if that was a white student who took an ass whooping and shot up black students, you already know. You would know everything about this kid. You know his blood type, what he had for breakfast, and his 3rd grade science project. You know everything about this dude. But because he's black and he shot up other black kids, nobody cares. And they're justifying this because he was bullied. So what? You cannot bring a gun to school and shoot people because you're bullied. Take some boxing lessons, take another ass whooping. I don't know what to tell you. But you are not justified shooting those kids because they bullied you. Now, of course, this boy comes from a broken home. Was he living with his mom and dad? No, he was living with his the Nims. I told you about the Nims. Grandmama Nim, Mama Nim, Auntie and Nim. He was being raised by his damn grandparents. Why? Because his mother was in and out of jail and his father's dead. It said his dad was brutally murdered. He was beaten to death. This is also something they're throwing in there with the... This is why he was on edge. This is why he couldn't handle anymore. He was reeling from the death of his father. From what I can surmise, his dad died a long time ago. And even so, I've lost my dad. I lost my dad and my stepdad. I didn't shoot nobody. I lost my dad when I was 15 years old in high school. I had a bully too. 2 of them. There were 2 friends that would bully me and another friend of mine. I hated those motherfuckers. And one of them, the little, you in like Warner Brothers cartoons, they'll have like the little short guy and he's like, yeah, come here. And then you got the big dumb one, what do you want me to do, boss? It was like that. And the other one, the big dummy who wasn't the leader, I used to talk shit to him because I knew I could whoop his ass. But we never had the chance. I wanted to. Even a couple years after the lead bully got out of high school, I was actually fighting some dude after school, and he showed up. And I said, when I'm done with him, it's me and you. Somebody called the cops, everybody ran, never had a chance. Never had a chance to dance. But no matter what, you can't come to school fucking shooting people. And he didn't only shoot the kid who fucked him up. He shot a teacher, he shot another kid, and another kid. There's no excuse for that. But his mama's up there with the worst looking weave I ever seen in my life. It looks like somebody left that weave out in the rain and then put it on her head. Get your shit together. You're going to be out here in front of the world, in front of the country on TV. Stop by a mirror before you take your ass outside. What is up with these ghetto ass moms looking like shit? Get it together. Jericho, how can you talk so bad about a high school kid? This little dumb son of a bitch is 18 years old. So you're going to get the business. This 18-year-old dumbass brought a gun to school because he couldn't handle getting bullied. Now his mama and Nim are up there talking about, she said he got bullied and beaten every day and the school did nothing. She said that she brought this to the school's attention and they did nothing. Bullshit. She said he was robbed and beaten. Robbed? What kind of school are you sending your kid to where he gets robbed? I'll tell you, Timberview High School, where this shit happens, over half of the kids live in poverty. It's a ghetto-ass school. That's why the kids didn't see anything wrong with fighting in the middle of the classroom. It's a ghetto-ass school full of ghetto-ass kids and a bunch of parents who don't give a fuck. But once something happens to their baby, my baby, now they're up there talking about, you should have protected him. No, you fucking hood rat. You should have protected him. You should have kept your punk ass out of jail and not had a baby by somebody with a criminal lifestyle. How are you going to blame the school? You sent them to that fucking school. You sent them to that sorry-ass institution. Knowing he was beaten every day and you weren't up there? You weren't in his life. He had to go live with his grandma. But now that he's in trouble and he's a potential meal ticket, now your sorry looking ass is up there in front of the media. They should have protected him. They should have done something. You should have done something. You should have had your life together before you had a baby and he had to go live with his grandma because you couldn't stay out of fucking jail. Not like she was sick. She was in the military. She worked for the government or something and she was out of town on some official shit. You were in jail. So much so that your kids were taken away. Don't blame the school. That's your fucking fault. Send him to the damn East Side High. What do you think is going to happen? Ridiculous, man. So this fool gets out on $75,000 bond, bail, whatever you want to call it. If you are dumb enough to go to a school and open fire in a classroom, you don't get to go out and play with the rest of society. You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass who is unsafe. You don't get to play with us. And you're 18. You're an adult. The fuck are you talking about bail? You don't get it. Sorry. If this was a white shooter who shot black kids, what do you think the mainstream media, man, you know the government, the president would be talking about this shit, talking about how racist this country is and how you're going to let that evil racist out on bail, and you know it. I don't give a fuck about this kid. That's why they're not talking about it. Or the kids who got shot, how come we don't know their names? Where the fuck is David Hogg now? Huh? You little arrogant punk. Where are you now? Here you go, school shooting, black victims. You guys are getting wet over this shit just hearing about it. Oh, the shooter was black? Never mind. Their little SJW hard-ons went away. Made their little SJW dick soft when they heard that it was a black shooter. They don't give a damn. He was bullied. So what? We are all bullied and we are all bullies. We all fuck with somebody. There was even somebody from his family talking about, oh, he was so into his schoolwork that we called him the little nerd of the family. So it looks like his bullying started at home. Let me guess. Black kid, black neighborhood, wants to do well, reads a lot, doesn't bother anybody. How do you think they treated him? But now, oh, you protect my baby. Why didn't you stand up for him? Why didn't you? Why are you calling him the nerd of the family at home because he's trying to do better? You guys started this shit. And how did they afford this lawyer? If you're sending your kid to a ghetto-ass school, you're in and out of jail, how you got this lawyer standing up there representing you, talking about this isn't a standard issue school shooting? Anybody? Let me know in the comment section. Am I wrong? I don't think so. So I guess they don't care about school shootings anymore. When the bad orange dude was in there, we had school shootings, mass shootings every day. Now, nothing. BLM, tearing up shit because of systemic racism. Now, nothing. Did they solve systemic racism? Did racism go away to them? Problem solved? Is that why we don't hear from them? These fools aren't serious. The only thing they're serious about is keeping power and taking our money. You can bet on that. Fuck out of here. 75,000. Man, keep his ass in there until he dies. You don't do that shit. I don't care if you're bullied. You don't shoot people in the classroom. And grandmama and him, since you're raising him, or you've already raised him, he's 18, but if you knew he was getting his ass kicked all the time, why didn't you get him some boxing lessons or some karate lessons? Why don't they teach that in school? Instead of teaching him about, I can breastfeed too, even though I'm a dude, instead of teaching them that, why don't you teach them how to defend themselves? How come you don't have any boxing courses in school so they can protect themselves? If you gave the boy the skills, he probably would have whooped that kid's ass and wouldn't have shot up everybody. Man, please, let me get the hell up out of here and get home with my beautiful wife and kids. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize that Linktree link. Get over to JerichoGreen.net. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.